What's up, family? It's your girl Stephanie, aka Edini Hostel Sakura, and I have some karma cards here that I actually pulled out last night, and I really, I just wanted to share the messages that came through on them. Okay, so there's gonna be 3 phrases that are randomly put together as there are 12 signs cards. There's 12. What's this? No, this is planets. 12 planets, 12 signs, of course, and 12 houses. So I shuffled, and these are the cards that ended up. The first message is spiritual, there's a mental message, there's a physical message, and then it's the same on the other side. Where's the book? Hold on. Okay, so there's red answers, which are for action, and then there's blue for the outcome. So let's read the action. So the spiritual message is cherish your feelings with the trust of a child. The theme lately has been that of flow and trust. So there we go with that trust energy. Get my unicorn. The mental is enjoy attitudes from the past about fun, romance, and making art. So again, I feel like Spirit is just saying, remember what brought you joy in the past. Maybe get back to those things you used to enjoy as a child, you know. And also, what was your attitudes and thoughts about fun, romance, and making art? And I feel like it's more about just being free with those things. And then we have for the physical action, charm, art, and beauty are the way to use your intuition and do it dramatically. Okay? So it's still the energy of put yourself out there, and that actually that came up in some previous readings as well. So and do it full out, okay? It's Venus in Cancer in the 5th house. Okay, and we just entered in Cancer season, so on time that this Cancer card comes up, we've been talking a lot about walking away from an intimate relationship, or close family. So Venus, with that being the planet of love, very fitting. And then we have the 5th house here. I'm not 100% sure what the 5th house. I'm not that much into astrology to know about the different houses. So it makes sense. The 5th house, I think it's ruled by the fixed signs. Are those signs? No, planets. Those are planets. Those are run by the sun, and so maybe the other one is a sign. It's the sun, and it looks, of course, Leo. It's fixed, and of course fixed energy in our lives typically, our love affairs, family. So fitting with what I was just saying. It says romantic attachments, self-expression, creativity, art and drama, children. So, of course, with the trust of a child, children, pleasure and play. The reading last night had rest, playtime, a blessed change. So I just really feel like we're in this energy of the blessed change is that of a more lighter, youthful energy, but still in a balanced way, as we still carry the wisdom that we have, gained through adulthood and just, our experiences, but it's time to balance that out now with some childlike energy, just really putting yourself out there, being dramatic, like all of the things. And so it really is good energy, I feel like, for maybe starting to blog or creating content. Like that literally just came to me. And so I might start doing some vlogging. Like never have been like really been a thought of mine until just now. But that is that energy of that childlike energy, you know what I'm saying? So the outcome, spiritually, we need to cherish our feelings. Let's cherish your feelings with the trust of a child. Beautiful. The outcome is that is the attraction of more intuition. I added the more, but the attraction of intuition to protect the power of love. Oh, the attraction of intuition to protect the power of love. And of course, what the saying is, God protects fools and babies. Children, so yeah, you're not a baby, but if you're consciously embracing that childlike energy to bring in that energy of innocence in a purposeful and, again, conscious way, then that will allow you, in my opinion, I truly do believe, because it feels good, it will allow you to attract more intuition, to protect the power of love. So the other one, it says enjoy attitudes. Okay. So mentally, we need to allow ourselves to think about and ponder on enjoying our attitudes from the past about fun, romance, and making art. And so if we can do that mentally put ourselves in the energy of enjoying, that, thinking back with nostalgia and enjoying the attitudes that we had. Think about how we felt when we liked someone, was crushing on someone. Remember, as a child, remember the excitement and fun we had, and our attitudes about the fun we had, the adventures we went on. I remember one reading, I spoke about an adventure that we used to do as children, just bold. And so the outcome of being able to do that is you're going to receive pleasure, and you're going to be able to receive pleasure from those attitudes from the past about, investment gambles in other games. You know what I'm saying? Again, we took a chance on a lot of things, and it was a lot of fun. We learned some things. It was a really beautiful experience. Either way, And then physically, it says charm, art, and beauty are the way to use your intuition and do it dramatically. So again, physically being charming, putting your art out there, sharing your art, or just creating it. And and beauty. And it's so funny, we had Xochitl Quazell that came out in the read, and she is the goddess that represents beauty and love and sexuality and all of those things. So it's interesting that beauty came out here, but adorning yourself, making yourself look good, throwing on some makeup, your perfume, you engage your creativity when you do that. It says, and these are a way to use your intuition and do it dramatically. And the outcome of that, you put all this beautiful energy into it, is good times resulting from the history of your creation. You're going to have some good times to think back on. This is good. So Spirit is just saying there's a lot of beautiful energy here for you to it just feels like a new beginning, a fresh start. And we know that we're definitely in that energy because we have gone through so many awakenings, walked away from some heavy situations that was blocking us mentally, physically, and spiritually, and or spiritually. So, this is really giving some really beautiful, light, youthful energy, okay? Because you were stuck in lack, stuck in dependence, and it's time for you to follow your passion. It's time for you to just jump in and follow your passion. Underneath jump in is listen. Listen to all of these cards was talking about, just really revving up and charging up your intuition as well by tapping into that inner child. And the only way you can do that in a healthy way is to heal that inner child. And I feel like a lot of us have done that because we've paid off a lot of our karma. We've learned the lessons, and now Spirit is saying, okay, I can trust you. And also healing that inner child helps us to get out of that stuck in lack energy, get us out of a lack mentality, and to trust ourselves. Again, that has been a really big theme that has been coming around. It says you have all the resources you need to carry you through. Okay, it's about trusting ourselves and just flowing. This innocent energy is that of flow. My heart is just overwhelming because all of the messages are just kind of coming together seamlessly, and they're supporting each other. They're confirming each other. They are validating each other. And that's the type of validation I like, that of the spirit realm, of the etheric realm, of love, and, not from a space of corruption or anything like that. Okay, it says whether it's financial, emotional, or physical limitations that you think you have, it is only ego-based fears taking over. And we have to remember, again, with this childlike energy, we didn't allow fears to take us over. Not too much, We still put ourselves out there. I know when the story I told is about going to like this little tunnel, and I went through the tunnel a little bit, but I didn't go too far. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't allow it to keep you from at least trying and just being out there. So this is some really, really beautiful energy. Just, so proud of the collective of releasing those things that kept us bound or had us doubting ourselves, because like I said, we have all the resources we need to carry us through. It says rein in those ego-based fears of limitations, whether financial, emotional, or physical. Rein them in and don't give up. And as children, that childlike vigor, we're not going to give up. And so tapping into that energy will help us to attract more intuition to protect us, because as children we were divinely protected, and so that goes, God protects fools and babies, but in this case it's a little bit different, but that protection is still there. right? I hope you get what I'm trying to put down. And then we have dependence. Okay, we all know as children we were dependent. We had to be. But there's a sense of that may have carried on into adulthood for whatever reason. May have to do with family members and such. But it's time to overcome that. There are a lot of energies that want us to remain in that energy of dependence. But we have grown, we have overcome, and now that this inner child energy is coming out, the inner child feels safe because of the work that we've done on our teenage self and adult self. So now this energy is coming up because it feels more secure, and I feel like because it's been healed, and that it can trust to depend on you as long as you get out of this lack mentality and begin to trust yourself, and that you have all the resources you need. As a child, you didn't have the resources because you weren't able to go out and get a job, blah, 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 woo, woo, didn't have the skills or any of that. But as an adult, you do have the resources you need. So there's no need to really be afraid anymore. It says there's something or someone you are clinging to and is keeping you from stepping into your light. Okay, so this could be, again, people, family, places, or things. You have everything you need to succeed. Here we go again. You have all the resources you need to carry you through. You have everything you need to succeed. And the only approval you need is your own. And you have to trust yourself to trust that approval. But at the end of the day, you've been searching all over and you've been looking for you. And I feel like you have found you. You know what I'm saying? You found yourself, your true, authentic self, and now you're ready to follow your passion dramatically. Like it says do it dramatically with this follow your passion. The card, that it is clarifying. It says the power of love, passionate. Be passionate about your investment and your gambles, anything else that you allow yourself to participate in, other just when out having fun and playing games and things like that. You'll be passionate about just living life, coming alive. Be passionate about your creations. Be passionate about fun, romance, and making art. And doing it with the trust of a child, with the passion of a child. Again, like it says, just jump in and listen to your inner child. Listen to your inner self. Listen to your higher self. Okay? I just saw a card underneath that says release, and it was a woman with the butterfly that came out in the reading before too. And you need to release the caterpillars and go and be amongst your butterfly tribe. You can still come back and visit every now and then, but remember, you got wings and you don't have to stay on the ground. Okay? And those caterpillars may be the toxic people. It says you're being asked to release any toxic people or situations from your life. You deserve to be free from all the drama. Came up in a read last night as well. You may be dealing with people who love drama, who like drama. That is where they get their energy from, by getting a rise out of people. And you are someone that embody this beautiful innocence, like the innocence of a child. And those type of environments are draining for, people like that embody that energy, or is balanced in that way. And it says, and this is the first step to achieving that, releasing. And, like I said, the picture on here has the butterflies. Underneath that, it says difficult road. It says the spirit of perseverance, being prepared for great things, walking the hard path in life. Know that you're going to have the spirit of perseverance. and that you're being prepared for great things. And that's the reason why you may be walking a hard path. You know what I'm saying? You're the type of person that don't mind taking the long route and not betraying yourself so much that you lose yourself completely anymore. You're not trying to do that. You know, you're listening to your intuition because you've gotten yourself, even the situation where you need to release, you betrayed yourself in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and you've had to rebuild. You've had to rebuild yourself back up. And in each of these things, you went through an awakening, you know. But Spirit is letting you know now, I really do feel like you've paid off your karma. With this beautiful, loving energy, I do want to pull one of these rose cards here from this deck. Oh, I just feel the love, you know. So I'm now gravitated to the pink in the room here and just enjoying the love and the vibes, you know, the rose quartz energy. I may, you know, put on some rose oil today. That has been brought up as well, you know, wearing rose oil, that idea anyway. And I hadn't done it, so I think today I'm going to put on some rose oil. Okay. So bottom of the deck, we have the Rose Garden. The first word on this card for the Rose Garden is innocence. Then there's forgiveness. We spoke about that in recent reads as well. And forgiveness is not about, you're about to soar. You hear me? Soar comes up after this difficult road. Like I said, you're being prepared for great things and you're going to soar. Just tap into that spirit of perseverance. You're going to get there. See it through. We're releasing that victim mindset and we are taking a chance. Okay, I'm trying not to. There we go, forgiveness. So I do want to read that, revisit that card. But it says withholding forgiveness only hurts you. Okay? And the last phrase on here is be gentle with yourself. Innocence, forgiveness, and be gentle with yourself. I mean, because again, like I said, we've made decisions that put us in situations of lack, but we refuse to be stuck in lack. Okay, so we need to tap into this beautiful energy of innocence and forgiveness. And again, we maybe need to forgive others. We may need to forgive ourselves, you know. And I think the main work that we need to do is forgiving ourselves for believing that we were stuck in lack when we've always had the power, you know. We've always had the resources and everything we need to succeed, but we allowed ourselves to be convinced otherwise by other people, and we put our power in other people's hands. But Spirit says be gentle with yourself at this time. It says withholding forgiveness only hurts you and prolongs the pain. It's time to forgive someone or maybe even yourself so you can stay on the path of your highest potential. And definitely think that energy is budding right here. We have the bud, so that's what made me think of that but there's, and that the bud is coming out underneath, follow your passion. There's, your passion is starting to bud again. Okay, the fun, the romance, love, making art, doing it dramatically, taking gambles, you know, other games, just like, games of being a child, just, not boxing yourself in to just one thing. I really feel like you're going to have a lot of options. You're really going to be diversifying your portfolio, financially, having multiple streams of income coming in. And I was just about to put that forgiveness card in the deck, and where I cut it to, it says let it go. You know what I'm saying? So Spirit is saying, let go of the unforgiveness. I don't think I want any of these cards to, be in the reverse. So I'm just kind of straightening them up for the next time I use them. But anyway, the first card that here is Rose Without Thorns. Okay? And it says you have a right to your joy. And this is coming out underneath stuck in lack. You're not accessing the level of joy you deserve to be accessing because you're stuck in lack. You're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, or thinking that, things are too good to be true. And I feel like this is a season of too good to be true is what you're going to be feeling that a lot. Okay? And it may shock your system because you've been going through, pain for so long. All of your life, maybe for some, but it's time to tap into that forgiveness. You have a right to your joy. Anyway, also it says peace here, and peace is your birthright. You know what I'm saying? And then the sweetness of life again. Our system is about to go through a shock because we're not used to experiencing the sweetness of life, the innocence, the joyful, the child-like joy and wonderment and awe. Like we're about to tap into those energies again, versus that heavy energy from being around these people who like drama all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think I read Willis. Did I finish? I didn't even finish Dependence. We're on Dependence now. And the card that came out with that is the Mystic Rose. It says compassion, devotion, humility, humanity, and grace. So I feel like you, again, with that childlike wonder, those people that you're releasing, I don't really feel like there's a lot of bitterness there. There's more empathy. This is also, allowing you to tap into understanding how empathic you are, and that a lot of the emotions you feel are not yours. Ultimately, they're not yours, and you need to be more conscious of that as well. But again, with the Dependence card here, it says there's something or someone you're clinging to is keeping you from stepping into your light. You have everything you need to succeed. All you need is your own approval. And you need to have compassion for yourself, devotion. Remember, in another reading, devotion, devoted to service. Okay? And I feel there's a lot of people that want you to be devoted to service unto them. But also, last night, Mazu came out. And that's an ancient Chinese goddess that's available to all. Okay? She came out and spoke about helping people, but not being a martyr. More, you know what I'm saying? Don't martyr yourself trying to help people. So it's all about having that balance. And then this is coming out underneath the intuition to protect, is what this card says. The attraction, the whole sentence is the attraction of intuition to protect the power of love. And you, as a person that embraces that childlike energy, as an adult, as an empath, as maybe a Venus, your Pisces is in Venus, like mine. Someone that loves. love, and those are the people that tend to be taken advantage of, abused. People abuse their power with them because they are usually people that just want peace and love and want to heal, and those people use that negatively, and drain those people of their energy, somewhat destiny swapping with them. But we have to recognize that we have the power, to take our power back, to not be stuck in lack and dependent upon these people, but still have compassion, humility, and grace for them, to give them grace, and also to give ourselves grace. Okay, so now we're in to the follow your passion energy, and it says if there's something that excites and motivates you, it's a message from your Akashic record that it can lead to your abundance. Don't silence it. So again, that inner child is really stepping up with this, with an excitement, with a lot of creativity. And you need to allow yourself to explore it. Allow yourself to follow the passion. You know what I'm saying? Something is exciting and motivating you right now, and you need to listen. Look, bottom of the deck, what did it say? Jump in, listen. Okay, release any guilt or fear, because that's not yours. Those are projections from people, because they don't want you to exceed them. But move forward. And baby, the Bud card, I just saw, I'm a bit glancing it, but it's the perfect card here to clarify, follow your passion. It says potential, promise. It's about to happen. Keep going, okay? Even the stuck in lack card says it's only ego-based fears taking over. Rein them in and don't give up. The Bud card says keep going, okay? Keep going. It's about to happen. So get out there, do it dramatically, have fun, enjoy. Remember the joy that you receive from attitudes about past romance and making art and fun. Tap into those feelings again, okay? Cherish your feelings with the trust of a child, okay? That's the action you need to take spiritually, is to cherish. Really tap into the word cherish. Cherish your feelings with the trust of a child. Okay? Enjoy attitudes from the past about fun, romance, and making art. Alright, so let's get some tarot. We're going to use these cards because they inspire fantasy and wonderment and dream energy. So I'm going to flip that around. We're going to shuffle like that one more time. Divide the deck, flip it. Okay. And then so we're going to do just a straight up like little cut. Then we're going to do the back and forth, front to the back, front to the back. And now let's get some cards out here. Okay, so we have the Eight of Cups in reverse, exactly like it says, stuck in lack. There's some people that don't want you to walk away. They don't want, with the Fool in reverse, they don't want you to take this leap of faith, because it's that now the dependence, baby, come on. Now the dependence has switched, baby. Now they're dependent upon you and your energy. Okay, and they have always been, but they've been convincing you otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Tricking you. But now you're coming out of that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to walk away. They don't want you to take a leap of faith. And then we have the King of Swords here in reverse as well. They see you as this King of Swords in reverse. That you have taken all of your lessons. You've learned them. You've grown very wise. And now you are emotionally, you are balancing. Come on. You're balancing your emotions with logic and reason. You're more balanced, okay, which is going to allow you to follow your passion and to not be dependent upon these people and their confirmation or validation, because they're not going to give it to you. Why? Because they want to keep you from not stretching your wings. They want you to forget that you have wings. They want you to be that butterfly that's come out of the cocoon but come down to visit them. And they're going to, while you're down there, they're trying to convince you that you don't have them. Those wings don't work. You know what I'm saying? And so at one point, they had you in this hangman energy, but I felt like you sit here and you surrender. This is the energy of surrender. We spoke about surrendering in other readings as well. So it's all, supporting each other. But surrendering, this is about being in the energy of flow. This is the energy of releasing, forgiveness. The hangman is about seeing things from a different perspective until you reach enlightenment. And I feel like, again, that's part of this dependence card, and it's switching. And you realizing, like, y'all really been dependent upon me this whole time. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Abandonment. They wanted you to abandon yourself, to abandon that full energy of taking that leap of faith. These people may have beat that out of you for a very long time, but now you're not. Come on, no, this is the second card that came out in the upright. 2 of Wands in the upright. And that represents you not being stuck and stagnant anymore. The 2 of Wands is either you're stagnant or you are moving forward and you're forging your own path. Even if that means you have to forge your own path. You know what I'm saying? You're walking away. We got the Page of Swords here in the upright. You're getting downloads. You're getting information. You're getting communication from your spirit guides. It's the Page of Swords in the upright. So again, tapping into that inner child. Your inner child is getting messages. Remember that inner child is very intuitive. So look at this with the 7 swords in reverse coming out here. Your inner child, and then again, this could just be getting messages in that is letting you know that there's deceit, there's lies, there's deceit, there's thievery around you. These people, the 7 of Swords is coming out underneath the Fool in reverse. They want to steal that childlike, adventurous energy of taking a leap of faith and trusting in the Most High. Trusting that you have everything you need and not allowing yourself to be boxed in. Knowing that you can jump off that cliff and the Most High is going to help you to develop wings. These people want to, with the Chariot in reverse, they don't want you to move forward with willpower and determination. Okay? They don't want that. But come on, perfect Ace of Staves. This is, things are intensifying. You're getting that intensifying energy from source, that push, that charge, okay? You've gotten the idea, but now Spirit is charging it up, okay? Charging it up like a battery. You hear me? And this is the card of building. It's not mind, body, and spirit, but spirit, mind, and body. That's the order that I'm working. I'm trying to stop saying trying. I'm working to reprogram my mind to say it in that order. Not mind, body, and soul, but spirit, mind, and body. So your spirit, mind, and body are working together to help you build, to help, because this 3 of Pentacles is clarifying the 7 of Swords and Chariot in reverse. They are all working in tandem to help you move beyond. Look at this with the 6 of Cups, and that's a reconciliation. I feel like this is a reconciliation with self. with you. Stop playing. Do you see? Reconciliation with the emperor in you. Making those executive decisions, taking that leadership role, not being dependent anymore, but also still having compassion, for humanity and grace for these people. But you got to go and explore. You got to go and live your life. So yes, these people are watching you. They never thought you would walk away from them. They never thought you would take that leap of faith. They never thought that you would boss up. You know what I'm saying? But you are, and you did. What is this hangman spirit? This is the hangman in the upright, actually. Let's see if some cards pop out. If nothing pops out, you're just going to shuffle again. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we're just going to pull. What is the hangman in reverse? Exactly. Enlightenment. You knew that there was more. That's why you went into this hangman energy. There was more out there for you than what you were settling for. 10 of Wands. And staying put made you feel so burdened, so heavy, and it wasn't yours to carry. The Spirit wanted you to be enlightened to that. You were carrying burdens that weren't yours to fucking carry. Look, this 9 of Staffs. That's why they were equipping you to put up healthy boundaries. They revealed to you that you were carrying burdens that weren't yours to carry. They were projected onto you. These ego-based fears were projected onto you purposefully to keep you stuck in lack. And this is not only family, and that's the reason why we have to have compassion as well, because it's not even their fault. It's society. We got to remember that we can't be mad at the people, but the entity. We are fighting the entity, and I feel like we may have forgotten that, and that's the reason why this forgiveness energy keeps coming up. And even the innocence and childlike energy keeps coming up, because those people are innocent as well, to a certain extent. Now they can do the work to become conscious, you know what I'm saying? But there's so much fear that religion has instilled in people that it keeps them dependent, stuck in lack, And so this free energy that you got going on, these people don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? They're stuck in this Ten of Swords energy. The Ten of Swords in reverse. They're stuck in that Ten of Swords energy, and that rock bottom energy, and that hopeless energy. They've allowed society to beat that out of them. And so they try to do that with you unbeknownst to them. That's why with the humanity, grace, humility, devotion, compassion, the mystic rose, that's the reason I feel like that came out. I kind of want to research that. Let's read the message on the mystic rose. Okay. It says the rose was a symbol of the goddesses of old. So it's no wonder when Christianity absorbed large parts of the indigenous Celtic traditions in Europe. I don't believe that. I feel like Christianity absorbed large parts of African traditions. They were first at the end of the day. So even the Celtic took from the African traditions. Let's just keep it a buck. Every person has been traced back to an African woman. Lucy is her name. So we're not gonna start from the middle. Let's keep it a buck. But anyway, we'll let them finish it here. They absorbed the Celtic traditions in Europe. The mother goddess, Mother Mary, became associated with the rose. Perhaps the reason Mary is so beloved is because she was the only mother goddess who could be worshipped safely, and as such carries with her the devotion and yearning of all those who long to worship the goddess in feminine form. Basically, they worshiped her because she was the only feminine energy that was put forward. And I have a Mother Mary right here on literally on my desk. I don't feel like moving her. But I also have Aset. I have Sekhmet. I have Lilith. Okay. I have Mazu now. I was introduced to Miss Mazu last night. That's my girl. I like her. Okay. It's a new connection we have. I have Baset here, baby. So I have multiple feminine energies, but I had to go research and find them as well. But she has a lot of energy around her because that was all Christianity taught, and Christianity was the religion of the land for a very long time. It still is. There's a lot of people still breaking out of a lot of that brainwashing. Well, we're here now. I'm not trying to speak down on anyone's belief. If it works for you, it works for you. It says Mary's connection with the rose. It is seen in some of her titles. Says like those of the pagan goddesses before her. The processions that honored Mary involved walking on rose petals. So again, there are goddesses before her. This is even letting you know. And maybe they're trying to talk about the Celtic goddesses, but there were goddesses before them. Let's be clear. It says the church altered the stories of goddesses past, including those that featured roses such as Aphrodite, turning the white rose red with her blood, putting Mary in the goddess's place. Such churches were erected all over Europe and beyond. In many cases on the site of Celtic temples and places of goddess worship. Many had beautiful rose windows. In the west, the direction of the feminine. So west is the direction of the feminine. I've always said that the left side of the body represents the feminine energy. And usually I attribute the direction west to the left. It says this is a card of compassion. So I need to know when reading this book. I just need to read the last sentence because honest, all that Celtic stuff, I think it's just because it's here because of the author. The author may be a European person, and of course they're going to highlight their energy and ancestors, but it goes way back, baby. Card of compassion, devotion, and grace. It encourages us to soften toward humanity, to soften. We did all that to talk about softening towards humanity, soften towards these people because they are victims just like us, and they are just in that cycle of abuse. Have compassion, have grace for them, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That is a revelation that is happening to me. It's just a cycle of abuse that these people are struggling to get, that a lot of people, 99.9% of humanity, I feel, is struggling to end that cycle of abuse. But first they have to recognize that they're in abuse. And that could be just literally mentally and spiritually via society and media. That cycle of abuse is perpetuated through those platforms. Encourage us to soften towards humanity and to endeavor to see the world and even those who have hurt us with understanding, an open heart, and deep humility. Basically what I was just saying. And with deep humility, how we can do that. It says to see that we all carry hurt and or are wounded. That goes back to the forgiveness that came out here with the rose garden. We need to speak to the inner child in these people. Sometimes we still need to walk away and just love them from a distance and stop martyring ourselves and carrying their burdens. Because it's time for us to be free. It's time for us to be emancipated. Okay? We all have experienced severing. Mother Mary is inviting you to open your heart to humanity when you most want to close it. Soul inquiry. How are you being called to show compassion today? So how are you being showed? How are you being called to show compassion today? And maybe first it's to yourself. It's to yourself, because right now we're focusing on the potential and the promise within us. It's about to happen. Because we are able to show that compassion to ourselves and to others. And that helps us to overcome those ego-based fears. Because we're so worried about what other people are going through. But if we understand, and how they may see us, but if we understand that those people's opinions are coming from a cycle of abuse, that they may not even be aware that they are operating under, it frees us to just allow whatever comment to flow off our back like water off a duck's back. Ashe. I love it. I'm here for it. Okay? So, again, we had the moon and the 8 of Pentacles coming out. Uncovering that truth. Right? So we can get to work with the 8 of Pentacles. Without the burden, all the burdens and projections that we've been carrying from other people. We've been enlightened to it. And now we're setting up that healthy boundary because it has been revealed to us. And baby, 9 of Pentacles, okay, was the last card. Wish fulfillment. That is the energy of that hangman. That is the energy of that surrender. That's the energy of, seeing things from a different perspective until we reach enlightenment. Okay? That we've all hit rock bottom at some point. And there are maybe some people still operating out of that rock bottom energy. That cycle of abuse. That's why there are so many knives in this person's back. That cycle of abuse. you know. So I think I'm gonna end it right there. I already at a lot, almost an hour in. So the Nine of Cups. So we have all those cards. Nine of Cups in reverse. Again, these people are operating out of a cycle of abuse. Unfortunately, they are refusing to do the work because they are hiding it from themselves. But the Emperor here and the upright here, you made executive decisions that you're not going to continue to live unfulfilled. And so these back to the reading, these people are feeling defeated because they couldn't kick that energy of stepping into your power of strength out of you. Could be dealing with a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo energy with the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Look at this, Eight of Swords in reverse. These are people that are trapped themselves. They are trapped themselves. And now that you have done the spiritual work, healed your inner child, you can see and judge the situation appropriately, but still with compassion and with humanity and grace for these people. Okay? Because they gonna act up. They gonna overstep their boundaries. Okay? But you just gotta let them know that you're not putting up with it. They are going to overstep these boundaries. Ace of Swords in the upright. Spirit says that's the truth. But also, you will be victorious. Okay. They're not as strong as they think they are with the Strength card in reverse. Could be dealing with the Leo as well. Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. Yeah, those are the fire signs. But know that you have all the resources you need with the Two of Pentacles in the upright. Know that you have all the resources you need to carry you through, to see it through, and that you have everything you need to succeed. Okay? Yes, there's a lot of chaos, but you have everything you need to juggle that shit. That's what the Two of Pentacles represents. It's like you're juggling, got a lot to juggle, but you handling that shit. Two of Pentacles in reverse. It's chaotic and you're losing control. Baby, we got it in the upright though. Okay? And these people didn't think you could do it with the Justice in reverse. These people didn't think you can do it. Because they couldn't. Projections. Look at that. You're the High Priestess. You come to help guide them and to set them free. But they don't want to listen. And the reason you can do this is because you've been through this. Everybody's been through it, but everybody hadn't been conscious and aware when going through it. You tapped into that energy of being conscious and aware and really meticulously dissecting the situation instead of just sweeping it under the rug and keep moving forward. And that just allows the situation to come in with a different avatar. And it's just a cycle. Repeated. I just saw the Hermit card in reverse, so you could be dealing with a Virgo as well. So Virgo heavy, Leo heavy in this read. Yeah. We'll go ahead and end it there. All right, family. Not quite in an hour, but we will be in 30 seconds. But anyway, I love you. Love you all. And until next time, peace.